Hey, welcome back everybody to another episode of the WRX. As some of you have seen on my Facebook, on Instagram, we had a little incident. 6-point buck ran into the side of my car. Yes, I said ran into the side of my car. I actually didn't hit it. It hit me. It actually hit right here on the headlight. Which then pushed the headlight into the fender. It broke the headlight housing. All the clips underneath here were all broken. It actually popped this out, and actually the inside of it was all broken. I can show you in a few minutes. So the fender's all been repainted. Still the same fender. This door was repainted, and this door was replaced. On the inside of the door, it had actually peeled the paint. It actually blew the paint out on the door. Side skirt survived though. As you can see, she's a little naked on her camo. She probably will be until spring, being the fact that I don't have a garage. Doing vinyl in this kind of weather is just not feasible. But yeah, so let's go take a look at the headlight. This deer did about $3,000 worth of damage. It wasn't beautiful at all. So this is the headlight. I actually broke all these pieces off on the inside. Now, the body shop, the insurance company, we didn't know how bad it was until, excuse me, until I got the new headlight and the old headlight and replaced, moved the sea light over. One thing I did realize doing the sea light this time was being the fact that the headlight was brand new. Subaru does actually use a reusable sealant for the headlight. If you do it right, you can reuse all of it, which I did, because the sealant that I ordered from Diode Dynamics didn't arrive in time. If I wanted the car back in time, I would have, I had to get it done that night. I also got a new phone, so the videos will be a little bit better for now. Taking pictures is a lot easier. They come out better. And it's only because my phone shattered. I mean, the whole screen was just spidered. I tried to make it go, and then the part of the screen went rainbow on me. So that all happened in a week. So I took this car down to Formula Ford. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's actually a Ford dealership nearby. I actually got a lot of people telling me to go there, that they're fast and they have amazing quality. So I went. They gave it about, the insurance company said it was going to take over 8 days. I dropped it off Monday night. I picked it up Friday night. So I have to say, if you want your car done well, actually as perfect as can be. I mean, the paint matches, everything's great. They did an amazing job on this car. I'd go to Formula Ford if you live in the Central Vermont area. So that was my first time going to them, and I was extremely impressed. But today, we're having some fun. I'm going to show you guys a quick way to get these spark plugs in and out. It's a good idea to change your spark plugs about every 20,000 miles. I changed mine last time around 25. It's getting time for another change. You can definitely tell I'm definitely getting some spark knock. And I think some of them aren't gapped properly. So today I'm going to gap them properly. For those of you who just take it right out of the box and put it in the car because the guy at the parts store says it's pre-gapped, don't do that. Don't. Yes, they were pre-gapped when they were made and when they were boxed. You got to remember, those spark plugs travel a lot of miles to get to you. And you all have that one parts guy that drops a box of spark plugs. Guess what? They're no longer gapped. I don't care who you are, what you say, they're not gapped anymore. And it's always good practice to check the gaps anyways. Also today I got to put a new serpentine belt in because mine is starting to squeak, and I'm hoping it's just the belt. It's not one of the pulleys. Everything works great. The AC pump works perfect. I mean, for 45,000 miles, I hope it all works perfect. But I mean, I haven't had any bad knock episodes on the Cobb access port, mainly just spark knock. And you can really tell what spark knock is. You can tell when it hits. That's where a lot of your knock's going to come from on these. Plus your knock sensor on these motors is right next to the clutch. And if you have a bad throwout bearing or any bad part of your clutch, your clutch starting to wear out pretty good, or something's just not right in there, you're going to get that noise into your knock sensor. If you think you're wrong, if you think I'm wrong, tell me. Give me your reasoning, and I can fix it for next time. But today we're going to do a quick spark plug change. I'm going to show you a faster way of doing it. I've seen some people literally take 2 hours to do this. My last time doing it took me about an hour. I got to do a cabin filter, serpentine belt. I was going to put my exhaust back on today. It is up for sale, along with my intake. It's just not what I wanted, I guess. I tried it out. The exhaust is nice. I do love the exhaust. Don't like how loud it is. Cops kind of watch me too much. And I don't like cops just sitting there staring at me, wondering, should I pull them over for loud exhaust? But yeah, both the intake and the exhaust are up for sale. So if you have an idea of what you want to pay for it, let me know, and I'll tell you yay or nay. I've had people offer me $50 for the intake. It's a $300 plus intake, brand new, and I only used it for like 2 months max. So you all can see how great condition it is. So, and all of you guys who have been on the channel have seen it, see me install it, saw me run it. Those of you who went to Wicked Big Meat saw it there, and pretty much like a month later I took it out because I was having some issues with the tune. The tuner says everything is fine, but I didn't like the numbers that were showing for the knocks. And as soon as I took it out and went back to a regular stage 1 Cobb tune, they all went away. So to each their own. If you know a problem, tell me. But yeah, let's get down to this. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to flip you around so you all can see what I'm doing here. All right, so first thing I do is I remove the battery, pull her out of the way. Don't even worry about it. Make sure that you go positive first, and then your negative. And then you have to reset all your windows. Some of you that don't know this, if you pull your battery for too long, it actually, in a way, resets your ECU. And pretty much just, it has to relearn each and every system. So pretty much what you want to do is roll your window halfway down, roll it all the way up, hold it there for 5 seconds, and then you get all your features in that window back, and do it for the passenger side window. Just the 2 front doors, and then all your windows will work. Your passenger side window will not work from the driver's side until you reset it the way I just said. I know because I've done it multiple times. As you all know, that ECU went down to Cobb for like a week to get fixed because I was an idiot. We all make mistakes. I own up to mine though. On this side, I like to take the ECU right out after the battery's been disconnected. You don't have to pull the connections. You just have to put it up here out of the way, and you got more than enough room down there to finagle around. I may take out the air box. I can't remember if I did last time or not. To do the serpentine belt, I think I may end up having to take off my shroud here, which kind of sucks. Because that's going to be kind of a little bit of a pain in the butt. But I may be able to work around it. But, yeah. So let's get to work here, getting the battery disconnected. Yeah, I've been a little drawn away from doing any work on the car or anything in general. You know, with work, you know, I don't get to do this all the time. I have a job I have to do. This is, trust me, I love to be doing this daily. Just doing videos for you guys and stuff like that. Would love it very much to be working with you guys daily, making new content for you and everything else. But unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way for me, especially having a family. It makes it a little hard, but I make it all work. Getting back into it, getting the sponsorships back up and working again. Getting some sponsorship content out there for you guys on some new stuff. So for those of you who are wondering, it is actually about 20 something degrees today. A little rusty. So one thing about Vermont that I hate is how much salt they do use and how much salt they don't use. We've had a pretty poor winter so far. We had a couple gnarly storms there for a little bit. Nothing major. Nothing to really write home about. It's just been kind of a bland winter, if you ask me. It hasn't been like last year, where heck, we were getting, you all saw in the background my videos how much snow we were getting. It was ridiculous. Kind of got out of hand there for a little bit. I was almost wondering if I was going to have enough space to put all the snow last year. This year I have a new plan in place. To make sure the snow does not accumulate in places it shouldn't. All right, so what's next is here's your coil packs, one by the side of the other. You got that the 10mm bolt there. Just make sure you don't have to unplug your coil if you don't want to. There's enough wire on those so you can just pull them, but I'll try to get you guys the best angle I can here. It probably ain't going to be the best. That should work. Hopefully I don't knock you guys around here. So y'all know, these are tiny little dubbers. These are not very heavy duty bolts. I would not go crazy on them. Tightening them up. If they are coming off really hard, you have a problem. As you can tell, these are coming out pretty easy. But it's just a fraction of removing the battery. Saves you a ton of time. It really does. And I also put some dielectric grease down inside there. Always put dielectric grease down in there when you put it all back together to help fight corrosion. Big helper on this. Nice little elbow, 3/8 elbow. Goes a long way. And I will be using a 14mm socket. Alright, now that I'm back, I'm gonna get moving on this. I had seemingly misplaced a couple things. Errors in my ways. So that's where we're working. All right, so we got 14 mil. Because these things are abnormally small, you really don't need much. You can't use a regular socket for these. As you can see, as soon as I get this camera right, it's not easy in this little tiny well. There we go. See, I told you I'd get it. There you can tell I got it in there. Got my nice little elbow on there. And now it's just breaking her loose. In my mind, that came out way too easy. I'm gonna come off of it for a sec. Pull that long monstrosity off. Now sometimes you can get lucky, you can get it stuck right in the socket. It'll hold and you can pull it right out that way. But I got this cool little magnet here. Must be it's not all the way out. It actually has quite a few threads on it. I think I got it that time. Must be I didn't. 6 times the charm, right? Well, we can actually grab that with our fingers. I'll have dielectric grease on it. And as you can see, it's not burning too bad. It's actually almost the right color. You don't want it white, which it looks like it had been there before. Got a little too lean at one point. You don't want a lot of oil saturation, and you don't want a lot of black. So we're actually right where we need to be with this spark plug, especially with 20,000 miles old. There's no wetness to it. It's all carbon, which is good. I'm actually going to check the spark plug gap. I can't remember what the spark plug gap for these is. Yeah, I remember back when I first started working on cars, they actually used to have the spark plug gap right on the hood or on the fender well. Just a sticker somewhere saying, hey, this is what your spark plug gap is. Guess they don't do that anymore. All right, so I found the proper gap. It's 0.020 to 0.024 is the proper gap. Now this one actually came out of the box proper gapped. Sucks though, because this one does not have 0.02, it has 0.025, and I don't want to go over gap it. Less gap is sometimes better, sometimes worse. So we're gonna take our 14 millimeter, gently slide her in there. Gently wait for her to grab. Don't force it, because you could take and put it out of gap right off the bat, and you don't want to do that. They should go in a lot easier than they came out, I'll assure you that. Now we'll take our elbow. Hopefully I get my elbow on there without knocking you all over. might even actually just be able to do it the other way. Because I got this cool thing called a flex head ratchet. So I can get mine in there pretty good. If you want to pick one of these up, Harbor Freight, 30 bucks. I put this thing through hell also, so I work on school buses for right now. And I beat the hell out of this Pittsburgh Professional Series tool. But yeah, I really do beat the hell out of it. So if you want recommendations on a cheap, efficient, and good, to me, flex head, this is a pretty good flex head. And it's long handled too, so that's nice. So I'll get the other one out here. Same thing on this one. So I'm probably gonna scoot the video over the other side and let you all see how that side goes. So I'm not standing around waiting all day. So the driver's side, or the passenger side, sorry. I'm a little tired. I'm lucky I remember what day it is. Sunday, right? Something like that. Alright, so this is your ECU bracket. Hold your ECU. Doesn't take much. 10 millimeter. They have Phillips heads on them. Don't try it. You're just gonna strip them because they can get really in there. Alright, so you get two 10 millimeters. Put those babies somewhere really safe. And then on the bottom, there is no bolt. It really is in there on the bottom. Pretty much just want to kind of wiggle it back and forth until it's out of your way. And there you go. That's literally all it is. And the second clip here, I can usually come off by hand. But a pair of pliers would be needed today. I don't feel like doing this. So you just kind of put her off to the side. And this is where the fun begins, because you really can't get your fingers down in there. Loosen up both coil packs. While I'm in here, I'm probably gonna soak it down with some fluid film. That's what I use. I did the wheel wells already, all the suspension pieces. Sorry, my thumb keeps getting in the way. Getting used to the new camera. So there's your two coil packs. I'll reach down in there, and as you can see, there's not a lot of room to play with down there. So I'll lay you guys down so you might be able to see something while I'm working. I don't know if you will. I don't know where I'm working anymore. Am I working down there? Am I working up here? Like, where am I? There. You might be able to see me working. I don't know. I'm trying here, folks. I really am. I'm just tired. I'm on like 2 hours of sleep. I took the kid to the emergency room this morning. So it's been an off day. As you can tell, a lot of this video is just me talking. This actually goes pretty quick once you get certain things moved out of the way. I know how much you guys hate listening to me sit here jibber jabber. I don't get very many people to talk to. I work by myself most of the time. It's not that I don't like my boss. He just doesn't understand gas jobs. He only understands diesels, and that's pretty much it. You know, lucky for me, I understand both. Raised on gas jobs, and the Army bred me into a diesel mechanic. Whew, that was close. All right, so both of those are out. Now it's just wiggling these babies out. They do wiggle out hard sometimes. This side's the worst. I like to save this side for last because, yeah, as you can tell, not a lot of room to play with. The other good news is I'm ambidextrous. All right, so let's see how these spark plugs look. We'll see if we can even get a little concoction of an extension in there. All right. For those of you not using a flex head, use an elbow. I recommend it. And also have a screwdriver handy, because sometimes the extension and the ratchet become one. And I don't like that. Like right now, I gotta get these two apart. I fought on the other side. You guys didn't see it on the second spark plug because it was pretty much the same kind of deal. The other spark plug came out really nice. Looks really nice. Everything looked good. So I'm happy with that. You can definitely tell it got hot a couple times, running lean. I wish I had my camera, my scope. I'm gonna borrow my boss's, but I'm pretty sure he took his home, so I didn't get a chance to grab it before I went on my nice 6-day vacation. First vacation I've had in a long time. So, yeah, I usually use a scope to kind of check on the pistons. Make sure all that's nice. Because sometimes you can actually see stuff down in there that you didn't expect. See, there you go. Again, that one's dry. Got some dielectric grease on it. Yeah, no wetness, mostly carbon. As you all can see, she's pretty decent. I am greatly impressed by how well these are looking. Now, a few of you watching the last video, me talking about my wife's old Hemi. Those, yeah. Cylinder 6 was the worst because of the misfiring. That sucker was white. I mean white. Those plugs are probably the worst ones I've ever seen come out of a vehicle. I've seen some pretty bad plugs. I mean, I've had blown Toyota motors and stuff. I've run propane, which if you're not careful, those propane motors can run really hot. You have to get a colder plug, a couple other things. Kind of help with the fact that the propane runs hotter, but it burns cleaner, so it's really nice. And it's a little bit more fuel efficient. Not much power gain unless you tune it right. And those ones you actually have to tune. You have to be decent at it to get it right. I was pretty good at it. I tuned a few, and then I stopped. Doing rock crawling and all that all together, so it's costing too much money. Now I'm actually regretting that. I think this cost too much money. Building streetcars. Which this is more for daily driving and stuff. And that one too is dry. Looking beautiful. Love it. That's a good sign. Especially after 20,000 plus miles. I would expect them to have some problems. I mean, we're at 45,000 miles overall. So I expect some problems, but that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do a spark plug change in a really decent amount of time. I think I've only been out here for 30 minutes. I've actually been doing this job for 30 minutes. And that's it. Which is phenomenal, being the fact that you know how long this can take. So this one here, I'm going to stick the spark plug into the hole, slide her down a little bit, and then I'm going to take my socket and put her in. Just because there's not enough room to put the socket and spark plug in together. And like I said, if you do it all gently, you won't ever have any problems. I will say that I love these cars. I do. A lot of people sit there and I tell them I own a Subaru and they laugh. The thing about Subarus is, you know, the worst that can happen. You know what the common issues are. And that's half the battle of owning a rig, is common problems. Now, if you know what the common problems are, you're already ahead of the game. You already know what to expect, around what mileage. You know, it's even out there, like how many miles it should be at. You change the timing belt, water pump, you know, how much power you should be able to put through to it. You know, you already know what the motor can actually handle. A lot of my buddies driving around fancy cars, laughing at me, driving their diesel pickups that make, you know, because of the fact that they can't seem to stay off the throttle, make only like, you know, 19 miles to the gallon. Now, I used to drive diesel pickups. I did. They're great. It's nice to have them. They're fun, especially when you get into the performance end of things. But unless you're towing with them every day, they're just not a practical application for anything. I will say that one wholeheartedly as an ex-diesel owner. If you were to tow every single day with a diesel, they're worth every penny. You make a lot of money towing with those damn things. But if you're just gonna drive it around and show off and blow black smoke, which is unspent fuel, it's not even, yeah. Really cool to cover someone in a cloud. But you look kind of dumb at the same time, because you just spent, you know, $50,000 on a rig, then sunk another $10,000 into performance parts, if not more. And then, you know, your gas mileage sucks. Your tires cost an arm and a leg, because you have to have 3/4 ton. You have to have load range E or D. So yeah, it's not worth it. I got rid of mine and bought a Subaru. Even Subaru was like, this doesn't happen very often. Well, you're not driving as much as I am. You know, I was driving a little over 150 miles a day. Now I drive, you know, a little less, but now I have fun driving my rig, you know. And that was the biggest deal too when I bought this car was, you know, if I'm gonna be driving all these miles and making payments, I want something that I can have fun with, something I can enjoy. And I told myself, yeah, I'm never gonna modify this thing. You know, I'm just gonna keep it stock. Yeah, it lasted a whole long time, huh? I think that lasted 6 months, and then it was boom, boom, boom. But, you know, I did it all for a good cause. It wasn't just because of what I wanted. It was, you know, something to support a good cause out there for my fallen brothers and sisters due to, you know, suicide. This is still what we're going to be working on. Next year, we're going to go with a different foundation for suicide prevention. Try to get this car out to like events for them, which means we're gonna get really moving on the look of the car. You know, bringing it back to more camo. I'm also gonna get the third color done. I still haven't chosen that yet either. As you can see, I'm putting dielectric grease in there. I load them right up. It ain't gonna make much of a difference either way. That's how I've always done it. You just slide these babies right back in. Make sure you press them in hard so that way, you know, they hooked in. Take your tiny little bolt. See, this one here gave me problems last time. I didn't want to go in very well. Yeah. So that's the spark plug job. I don't know if I'm going to get to the serpentine belt today. I don't know if I have enough time. We'll see how immensely intimidating it can be, and go from there. But I think we should be able to do it. I'd really like to get my dash cam mounted soon. I had it mounted one day. I started running the cable, you know, making it look clean, making it look good. Unfortunately, when I went to go button everything up, I didn't realize how close the cable was, or how the cable was sitting on one of the trim pieces. And when I pushed the trim piece back in, it cut the wire for the power wire. So that was kind of fun. Not really. But I got it all put back together, working now. It's just rerunning everything. See it. That one's tight. Come back to this one. Now once we get everything back in place, we'll start her up, see how she does. Everything's locked and loaded in place. So as you can all tell, it's running great. Sounds like a regular WRX with a 2.0 FADIT. That's the quickest way I can really show you to do a spark plug change on these. It's not difficult. It doesn't take long. Yes, the car is filthy. It's winter here in Vermont. It goes through a car wash, it goes home. That's what all I have time for. Just give you a drawdown of tools I got. I had a long handle flex head Pittsburgh 3/8 ratchet. You can get those at any Harbor Freight, pick them up anywhere. I mean, even Craftsman sells them, Lowe's sells them, Sears sells them. And if you really want a good deal, go to a Sears that's going out of business, like the one I've been going to, and you get tools real cheap. And then you can go over to Lowe's and still get Craftsman tools after Sears is gone. So I use a 3-inch extension, wobble extensions. Wobble extension pretty much just lets it's got a weird head to it, so it lets the socket actually wobble a little bit. Gives you that little extra movement you need to get into the tighter spots. I found it they're amazing to have. 10 millimeter shallow and deep, 14 millimeter deep for your spark plug, and a pocket magnet, extension magnet to get the spark plugs out. And it's that simple. You pull the battery and push the ECU off to the side, and it's probably about 20 minutes aside. So for all of you that are fighting around these objects, stop fighting, take 2 minutes, take them out, and save yourself a ton of time. All those spark plugs, scary enough, did gap out to be the proper gap out of the box. But I still check them, always check them. But it's lunchtime. I'm not gonna, the serpentine belt looks fine. It's not squealing today. I think it was just a cold issue. So I'm gonna hold on to the spare one I have now for later use, because I'm holding on to this car for a long time. Next videos that'll come up, I got some parts on the way. And I'm also selling some parts. As you all know, the NVIDIA single exit race exhaust, that's up for sale. That's only like 6 months old. That's a $550 beautiful stainless steel exhaust that I'm only selling for 270 bucks. Honestly, that's a steal. Literally, this exhaust is pretty much still brand new because I took so good care of it. I coated it and everything else. And for an extra $40, we could probably bargain a little bit on this. I'll even throw in the Grimspeed adapter and a new exhaust donut. But if it ain't gone by next weekend, the exhaust donut's not going to happen, because it's going back on the car until it's sold. And for the Grimspeed intake, that's almost $400 intake that I only used for 2 months. The tune's not hard to get. You can get an off-the-shelf tune from Anthony Ambot, from Ambot Tuning, for like 75 bucks, and it's great. I'm going a different direction than cold air. I don't care for cold air intakes. I was just trying it to see how it would do. Turbo sounds amazing. It actually almost sounds like you have a blow-off valve, and I've actually had multiple people ride with me and tell me that. Great intake, love it, looks sleek, looks amazing, sounds amazing, just not for me. So that's up for $200. That's a steal, being the fact that it's only used for like a month or two. So hit me up if you want to buy them, and like, share, subscribe, comment below, especially if you like this video. I'll do more. We'll be doing a lot more videos here soon, now that things are starting to calm down. The holidays are finally over, thank God. But y'all have a great rest of your week. I'll hopefully get a video out midweek. This video should be out tomorrow or the day after. My Wi-Fi works better here at my house all of a sudden, so that's a plus. So we'll be able to get this video out sooner. So you all stay classy out there, keep it safe, drive safe, and keep it between the ditches.